All right, the host team. Now, your input will determine the energy of the podcast. When you listen to the soundbite, which I'll provide, think about what it's trying to say, who is saying it, how does it make you feel, and what do you take away from it? On this team, one person will be the host who will come up with an intro and outro to the podcast. 2 people will be the guests who will share and record their opinion or their commentary on the soundbite based off of a topic that I'll ask you to speak on. And 1 person will be the lead recording engineer for recording all of this. So when your group has completed their parts, you should have 4 audio files or tracks, the intro and outro of the host, and 2 different commentary tracks recorded by the podcast guests. Make note that the host and the 2 guests recording their commentary must write a script of what they will record, and they will read from this script while recording. Okay, let's do a breakdown of what we'll do. First things first, everyone in your group will listen to the soundbite a couple of times. After that, the host will start writing their script to their intro and outro, and the guests will start writing their scripts of their commentary based off a topic that I'll provide. The sound engineer, you'll get everything set up and good to go while everyone's preparing their script. So that means getting your session and sound trap ready, making sure you have the right number of tracks ready to record, hooking up the mics, and so on. For the host, your intro must be 2 minutes or less, and your outro, 2 minutes or less. Podcast guests, your commentary must be 1 minute or less. So definitely take that into account when you're writing your scripts. Once you've written your script, it may be a good idea to pull out a stopwatch real quick and time yourself. If it's longer than what it's supposed to be, no worries. Just adjust your script. Recording engineer, you will record each person on a separate track within your session, of course. Record the host's intro and outro on 2 separate tracks. After you finish setting your session up and making sure you're ready to record, if the host and guests are still working on their scripts, maybe offer to help them. But as soon as the first person is ready to record, stop what you're doing and go ahead and start recording. Be mindful of the 1 and 2 minute time constraints that the host and guests have. If what they've recorded is over that, it's up to you to let them know so you can re-record. Because we'll all be working on things at the same time in one room, there won't be absolute silence while recording, and that's okay. Maybe you can use a blanket to put over the host and the guests while they're recording, or maybe you think about where you want to position the mic, or maybe you just accept that the classroom sounds will be a part of the recording. That's up to you. Once you're all done recording everyone, export each track separately and hand off to the executive production team. Here's a few helpful suggestions. For the host and guests, even though what you say has a time limit, make sure that you don't sound rushed or talk fast to try to fit everything in. What I do when I know I have a time constraint is set a goal time just a little less than what's required. So for the host, you may have set a time limit of 1 minute and 30 seconds instead of 2 minutes. And for the guest, you might make your goal time 40 seconds rather than 1 minute. This way, even if you go a little over your adjusted time limit, it's still hopefully under the 1 or 2 minute mark. So don't rush through what you want to say. Just use your words wisely. Also, use plenty of voice inflection, almost to the point where it seems ridiculous. For instance, if I talk right now pretty regular, it may come off as monotone. But if I raise my pitch every now and then on certain words and allow some time for brief pauses, it makes what I'm trying to say just a little more easy to listen to. For the recording engineer, I would suggest to start your recordings on each track at the same point on the time grid to make things a little easier for exporting. Also, when you're exporting each track, just mute the other tracks or solo the track you want to export. Same for recording. You can keep the same recording starting point with multiple speaking tracks if you mute the other tracks while you're recording, or you solo the one that you're recording on. Important thing for everyone to remember is you have 40 minutes to complete this, writing the scripts, recording, and exporting. So working together, not wasting time, and taking initiative will really help you out.